Inventory. Do you scream when you hear that term? Depending on what your economic stance is, inventory management can be a massive fear or an extreme blessing. While the number varies, one can assume that it is very likely that about 50% of an organization's assets are tied up in inventory. This can be a scary thought and a present cost to maintain. Were there other opportunities you could have invested in? Maybe. As such, inventory is sometimes considered to be a risk as well as an asset. So, does that mean we eliminate it all? No. It means that we must learn to manage it and find ways to convert those assets into revenue and value. The only way to do this is to first understand that inventory must not be managed as either an opportunity or a risk. It must be managed as both. You must ensure that inventory is available when it's needed and still balance the fine line of minimizing the cost to create, acquire, and hold your inventory. Over the next few modules, we will dig in and determine how we can manage all different types of inventory. We'll clarify some of the most common aspirations of inventory, break down and define the language of inventory, and move from high-level or strategic inventory guidelines to the frontline management of each individual inventory SKU. With that in mind, one of the best ways to align a team in the management of inventory is to help them understand what inventory does for an organization. Much like a vision does for a company, clarifying the purpose of inventory can be empowering. Number 1. The primary purpose of inventory management is to ensure there is enough goods or materials to match the needs of demand without creating any excess inventory. When this occurs, external customers can depend on an organization to have products available when they need them and have them delivered on time. In addition to this, internal customers can match the needs of their demand. They receive the right product in the right quantity at the right time. This allows them to continue producing at a rate that the external customers can trust. Number 2, protecting against supply chain shortages and delays in delivery. The theory of constraints teaches us that a supply chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and accessibility to components, subassemblies, parts, and raw materials can sometimes face industry disruptions, which cause a supply chain to slow or even stop. That's why many companies will stockpile different types of materials to protect themselves from disruptions and avoid bottlenecks or idling where plants, processes, and operations take place. Number 3, decoupling operations in a process. Subassemblies or partially processed materials are often held at various stages in a process. This can help act as a buffer for operations. These buffers protect an organization when interruptions or breakdowns occur within the supply chain, process, or operations. Maintaining these inventories allows other operations to continue even when a failure exists in other parts of the process. This technique is known as decoupling. Number 4, taking advantage of volume discounts or purchases. Many suppliers offer discounts based on certain quantity breaks because large orders tend to reduce total processing and shipping costs, while also allowing suppliers to take advantage of economies of scale in their own production processes. While these bulk purchases may in fact reduce transportation and purchasing costs, they will also increase inventory holding costs. As such, you must check to make sure the cost of any direct materials is lower overall than purchasing and transportation costs. If it is, this will reduce production costs as well as the cost of goods sold. Last but not least, another purpose of inventory for many organizations is to avoid lengthy setups and changeovers, so that a company can run machines longer. When an organization sets up machines once and runs large batches, they can avoid the effects of lengthy changeovers and run lines without interruption. In addition to this, longer production runs allow an organization to maximize their capacity utilization. As a reminder, techniques like reduce or SMED can help organizations improve changeover speed as well as reduce downtime. Also, please ask yourself before you run machines for lengthy periods of time, is maximizing my capacity really an improvement if there is no demand associated with any of it? Well, we've covered a lot here in this introduction. Now, as you ponder the different purposes of inventory, we'd like to invite you to answer the following question in the community, comments, or upcoming assignments. What is the main purpose of inventory at my place of work? Thanks again for watching, everyone, and don't forget to stay active in the community. Visit regularly, sign up or subscribe, and keep coming back to find more solutions that ignite your power.